Good morning. There we go. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for your patience. Our nanny had a little thing this morning, so we're running nannyless so far today, but all good and getting going. Mary, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Oh, we've got Laura. Awesome. I missed you all yesterday. It feels weird to not be here with you. And I have to take off. Jessica, good morning. So glad to see you. Good early morning to you, Mary. It is bright and early where you are. I feel honored to be joining you first thing in your day. And if you are joining on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, pop me a comment. That's how I know that you are here. So who had a takeaway so far? Good morning, Laura. Who had a takeaway so far from our first day of Feeling is the Secret? I'm just really curious because I know it's kind of a different vibe than U Squared, right? It's definitely more antiquated language, but we talked on, what day was it? Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday, about how your outer world is just a mirror for your inner world. And I heard from some of you privately that there were some big shifts that came from that, like big shifts in awareness. So I'm just curious if you want to type in the comments, if you were here for that or you watched it, what's the takeaway? What's the aha that you had so far on that? And so I'd love to just hear from you there. Let me know. Hey, Jamie, good morning. And then today, so we're going to keep going and keep diving in. And I've got about, I don't know, like 20-ish minutes or so with you. So we'll go as long as everyone can stay and hang out today. As always, I would love to do some live coaching. I would love if you have questions, pop them in. Leah, Morgana, oh my gosh, all my ladies, good morning. Good morning. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading from this. And again, it's one that I feel requires a little more translation because it was written in the early 1900s. So I'm going to do like smaller segments and then I'm going to do Elyse's translation for you. So, okay. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Elizabeth, good morning. Oh, I love seeing all of you here. All right, friends. So let's get into it. So I'm going to just kind of like pick up where we left off on Tuesday. So he basically said, look, your outer world is a mirror for your inner world, right? So let's just say that. That's our translation. And let's get back into it. He says, this reality may, for the sake of clarity, be likened unto a stream which is divided into two parts. Now, this is good. And so like really, this shifted my thinking about conscious mind versus subconscious mind. So tune in for this. He says, it may be likened into a stream which is divided into two parts, which are your conscious and your subconscious mind. He says, in order to intelligently operate the law of consciousness, I'm just going to translate. You've got to understand the relationship between the two parts, between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So the conscious, and this will shift everything for you if you can really grasp this, okay? The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. So I'm going to say that again. The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. Here's what this means. So your conscious mind, you have the ability to accept or reject information. And you do that typically based on your belief systems, based upon who you see yourself to be. Your subconscious mind, though, it cannot accept or reject information. Once information makes it in, it's like planting a seed in the soil. It doesn't matter what you plant, it will start to grow in there. Is this making sense so far? And so that's why we have to know, like your subconscious mind is impartial. It doesn't matter what you put in it. If you plant a seed in there, its job is to go to work making that your reality. Let me know what questions, like, please, because this one is a bit of a beast. It's a small beast, but it's a beast. So let me know what questions you have as I talk through this. Please type them in the comments. Good morning, Generation Brilliant. Maybe I'm saying that correctly. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning. But so why this matters? Here's why this matters. Your results in sales, in business, in life will always match your belief system. They will always and only match your belief system. Where do most of your beliefs come from? They mostly, like, they live in your subconscious mind. Most of them come from early childhood. So think about ages from, let me just draw, I've drawn this before, but I know a lot of you are joining new. So I'm going to draw this out for you. One moment. You all like my sparkly pen? I'm obsessed with Erin Condren right now, and this is one of her pens, and I have so much fun with it. Okay, actually, let me draw it. Well, yeah, all right. So, okay, I'm going to do Instagram, then I'm going to come over here. So your brain, we could, in a very simple way, divide it into two different sections: your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So conscious mind, subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your results. So it stores, there we go. It stores all of your belief systems. It stores all of your habitual behaviors. And so from the ages of about 0 to 7, your conscious mind has not formed yet. It's not here. You're basically like this. You're basically the one at the bottom, a giant walking subconscious. So what happens is any information that comes in can just go directly into your subconscious mind. As you become an adult, you grow this filter called the reticular activating system between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. That gives you the ability to differentiate. Oh, excuse me. Let me get my nanny's coming. One second. Good morning. How are you? I'm so good. I'm doing a live, so I'm going to hop back over here. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So that gives you the ability to differentiate information and to, it's basically like a bouncer in your brain, like for lack of better terms. You basically create a bouncer in your brain. But when you're young, you don't have that. So anything that comes in your mind accepts it as truth. So this is why I'm so passionate, especially because I do a lot of work with clients on money and their money beliefs. And so many of us who grew up with limiting beliefs around money, who still has limiting beliefs around money, give me a heart, give me a comment, give me a yes. Like, is that, I know for a lot of the women I serve, that's part of their story, because that was part of my own story and challenges. And so what happens is usually, thank you for the hearts. Yeah. So usually what happens is growing up, like, let's say you hear your parents arguing about money, or you hear conflict, or you hear them even just like stressing out about paying the bills. So many hearts right now, right? Like you all totally. So this is almost everyone has money hangups and they don't even know. I was doing some coaching with a very like high level female leader in a financial services company recently. And she was like, I'm realizing right now how many money hangups I have that I didn't even know I had. And she's dealing with money all day long, right? She's dealing with money all day long and she doesn't know. Working with a private client right now who's making $250,000 a year. And we're working together yesterday on some of, his money beliefs. And he's like, I'm realizing I don't know how money actually works. Like, I don't know anything about it. And this is so common. This is so common. So we have to take all this stuff in as true growing up now. And so Jessica said, at what point does it move from one side to the other? I'm going to answer that question in a second. That's a great question. So now that you're an adult, assuming you're past the age of 7, if you're watching this, I know many of you, so I know you are, you now have both parts of your brain formed, the conscious to the subconscious. But the subconscious still holds all of your belief systems. So this is why, how do I say this? I was doing a training yesterday for one of my corporate clients, and we were talking about, like, this is why I think so much coaching I've been a part of in the past, even coaching companies that I've been part of, like, this is what I think is lacking. And this is why, have any of you ever hired a coach, and just say yes in the comments, or let me know, like, give me a heart. Have you ever hired a coach and you felt like you didn't get a lot of results from it? Like, who's had that experience? And maybe you met every week, maybe you met every month, and they said, just do these things, like make these calls, copy and paste these emails, and you'll get, Mary saying, yeah, you'll get these results. But then you went to do the activity they told you to do, and there was a part of you that was really afraid. There was a part of you who was like, had a lot of resistance around it, right? Patty's saying yes in all caps. And here's the problem, is that just accountability, like, can that help? Sure. But if you have an underlying belief system that tells you that it's not safe to be visible, or that tells you that people don't want to hear from you, or that tells you that you're not worthy of making the amount of money you're in that program to make, it won't matter. You won't do it, or you'll self-sabotage, or you'll fall off the rails. So Laura's saying yes in all caps. And this is so common. And it's like so much. This is the problem with most coaching programs I've seen. It doesn't go beneath the surface. We've got to get beneath the surface and get your subconscious beliefs working for you, telling you that you are the type of person who has that amount of money, who has that lifestyle, who people love hearing from, right? And people want to receive messages from. Wendy's saying completely. And this is the biggest shift, because when you can get that belief system in place, that you are the type of woman or man who earns $1 million, has the dream home, has a beautiful relationship with your partner, is in the best shape of your life, then the whole job of your subconscious mind is to go to work making that a reality. And Jessica, I'm going to get to your question too in a second, so I haven't forgotten about you. But how does that work? This reticular activating system here, this bouncer in your brain, its job is to filter information. So there's over 1 million bits of information coming at you at any given point in time. And so if you think about it, if you were actually consciously aware, stop and think about this. If you had to be consciously aware of everything happening around you all the time, wouldn't you go crazy? Right? Like, think about it. And now you're going to start thinking about it. You're like, Elyse, I'm going crazy. Stop talking about it. You would, if you were aware of the air conditioning running, if you were aware of a light flickering, if you were aware of what somebody was doing in the next room, if you were aware of your heart beating, if you were aware of your breathing, if you were aware of all of that all the time, wouldn't you lose it? Right? So the job of the reticular activating system in your brain, that bouncer in your brain, is to filter it to only about 200 bits of information at any given point in time, so that you can remain focused on what matters. But it filters it based on your belief systems. And so please, let me know in the comments if you have questions on this, or if this doesn't make sense. So what'll happen is, if you have a belief system that it's easy for you to make money, and that you consistently bring in $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, the job of this bouncer in your brain is to help you look for opportunities that will make that true for you. Okay. Are you all with me here? Give me a heart, or give me a yes. Mary, good morning. Welcome. But if you don't have that belief system, then you can have an opportunity right in front of you, and you won't even know. You won't even pick up on it, because that bouncer's filtering it out, so you don't have to pay attention to it. Because your belief, we got a lot of hearts. Okay, yeah. Because your belief is that it's not easy for you to make money. And so there will be opportunities right in front of you for you to make money, but your brain will be like, nope, that doesn't align with what I need to pay attention to for my own identity. So we got to learn how to plant the right seeds in the soil of our subconscious mind to create a belief system that matches the type of reality you desire. Thank you so much for the hearts. I'm glad this is making sense, because this is, and if it's not, pop it in the comments. This stuff did not, I think I was reading a lot of information for a long time that made it feel very complicated, but this is the most simple, accessible way I found to explain it. So Jessica, your question was, how do we know? At what point does it move from one side to the other? Great question. So you have different brain waves. So let me draw this out for you. One moment. We're having art with Elyse this morning. Theta, delta. Okay. So you have different brainwave states that you're in at any point in time. Has anyone ever been hypnotized? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever been hypnotized, or have you ever just noticed, even as you're falling asleep, suddenly you feel more relaxed, you're more calm, you're at ease. It's like that mental activity isn't quite as strong. Jessica's saying yes. Yeah. So your brainwaves, I'm going to show it here on Instagram first, and I'm going to come over to everywhere else. So just one moment. So here, this is your reticular activating system. Okay. This is a rough drawing of it. Okay. But so you have 4 kind of core brainwave states that you'll be in throughout the day. Beta is when you're in your waking alert state. So this is what you're in right now. It's when you have more energy and attention on your outer environment than on your inner environment. And so as for people who are like very stressed out, very anxious all the time, they're usually in high beta. And so if you've ever felt like your brain's thinking about a million different things, excuse me, let me show over here too. So beta is up here at the top. If you find yourself like scattered, brain thinking about a million different things, you're in high beta. So at that point, there's nothing that's going to get into your subconscious mind, right? Because your brain's frantic. The next level down is alpha. So if you, as we're doing this training, right? When you're paying attention to me and to the training, your brain is more in beta. But if you find yourself suddenly, which just happens, it's the way your brain works, kind of like you stop paying attention and you start thinking inward about something that's going on for you, something that's happening, or like you're taking this information and then you're thinking about how does this apply to my life? You're going closer down into alpha, which is more of that relaxed internal. You're less focused on the external. You're more focused on the internal. Now, theta, when you go into theta brainwaves, that's when you're going, into your subconscious. So that's kind of like the gateway into the subconscious. There's a number of different ways you can do that, but that's where you can start to do the reprogramming. So you can do this during meditation. You can do this during hypnosis. That's when you're in that very calm, hypnotic, relaxed state. And that's where, so this is why it's so important to meditate, and it's so important to learn how to control your brain waves. Because if you want to do some reprogramming, we got to get you into theta. Okay. That's where you're just an open. It's like you're wide open again. And let me know if this, please like pop it in the comments if you have questions on this or this doesn't make sense. And then the bottom is delta. Now this is when you're usually like deep asleep. So what we're talking about really here is how do you access theta and get into your subconscious mind through hypnosis, through meditation, through learning to get very calm, right? And calm your brainwaves. But this is where theta is where you can do the reprogramming. And so how do you know, to Jessica's question, like, how do you know when you've done it? Well, here's what I would say. So I meditate every morning, and I do usually one of 2 meditations. I'll do Dr. Joe Dispenza's Generating Abundance meditation. And that one has really helped with wealth consciousness and helping me feel like at a higher financial frequency and vibration. So I'm a better match for what I desire. The other one that I actually do more commonly, this is the one I do almost every day, is the morning meditation. And so in that one, you're getting very calm. So you're getting into that hypnotic state, and he takes you through how to get there. And then you're thinking about that vision of what you want. So it's like you're getting yourself into more of a theta state. So we're going down here, and then you're thinking about what you want, and it helps you you're basically planting that seed in your subconscious mind of what you desire. So like right now, we've identified the type of home we want to move into next. I have no idea how it's going to happen, nor do I care. All I'm doing right now is I'm planting that vision of myself and my family in that home every morning, feeling that feeling of gratitude for it as if it's already done. And that's why we'll kind of get back. Man, this was a long, we read like 2 sentences and then off to the races. So we'll get back into the book tomorrow, but that emotion is really important because your subconscious thinks in pictures and emotions. So that's why we've got to learn to visualize. We've got to learn how to manage our emotional state. But that's how you plant it, but you must do that. So part of what's cool about this book, I love how he describes it. We'll talk about this tomorrow, is it's kind of like your conscious mind is the masculine and your subconscious is the feminine. So not to be too weird about it, but it's like you're impregnating your subconscious mind with that seed of what you want. You do that through that consistent thought about what you desire, as well as that elevated emotion as if it has already happened. And then your subconscious must accept it. It's the womb of all of creation. Like there's very cool, very, very cool ties with nature, with universe, with all of this, like with your conscious and your subconscious mind. But you're basically again, not to be weird, but you're impregnating your mind with the vision of what you want. And then it comes, that's how it works. It must grow. So let's see here. Laura's saying, love this, learning something new helps me understand why meditation works. Yes, exactly. And that's why I didn't even know there was a difference in brainwave states for so long. And I lived most of my life in like high beta. Can anyone else relate to that? Where I was like scattered and anxious and always, when you're in beta, you're always on the alert for a threat, or you're with high beta, you're like on the alert for a threat. You're way more you're way more focused on your external environment versus your internal environment. And that is not a state where you're going to create what you want. That's where like I feel it's pretty rare these days for me to go there, but it does happen sometimes. And like I can literally feel in that moment, it's like the connection between my brain and my heart shuts off. And suddenly if you're in fight or flight, that's where you are. And that's not a time to create. That's not a time to love. That's not a time to be expansive. That's a time to fight or flight, right? And that's not where you want to be. And I know now, I'm saying a lot of you can relate. Yeah. Like I feel like now for the most part, I can find myself in low beta or in alpha throughout the day. And I know how to get into theta as well, like pretty close on demand. It's just practice. But when we learn how to practice this and we do this consistently, you can go in and you can reprogram anything. And it's really fun and it's really exciting. And there's who else, and I'm going to kind of wrap on this. Has anyone else noticed, if you've been doing this work for some time and maybe you're in the 10K club, or maybe you're just, you're watching these lives, but have you noticed that your brain feels calmer throughout the day? And have you noticed, I know I've asked this before, but I want to hear now, like, have you noticed that your heart center is more lit up during the day? Because that heart brain connection, that's when you're in that lower beta / alpha and you're creating powerfully. It's like, that's when your energy field is intact. That's when you're creating. That's when you're in alignment with what you desire. And you can tell if you get out of it too. You'll know really fast. Laura's saying yes. Wendy's saying yes. Isn't it beautiful? Like, to me, if we just did that, like if we didn't make any more money based on this work, if we just learned how to do that, that would be worth it, right? Like for those of you who have experienced it. But the side effect is that you are now it's like now you're the vortex. You're drawing in thank you for the hearts. Like you're drawing in the money, the clients, all of it because of who you're being. But that's just like the cherry on top. I freaking love this stuff. I was sitting with my husband last night and we were watching a guy on Creating with the Quantum. And I was like, I freaking love this. Like, I will do this the rest of my life. I find this so powerful, and just seeing the shifts in all of you. Laura's saying yes. When he's saying yes, we're going to say considerably. That makes me happier than I can ever tell you. Happier than I can ever tell you. Let me go and check comments briefly. And then Jessica's saying, never heard about these levels before and now understand more how meditating helps. Yes, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All right, friends, I've got a meeting I'm going into. Thank you for the hearts. Get registered for the challenge. If you haven't gotten registered yet for we moved it back a week. So it's in July now, but ElyseArcher.com/challenge. If you want to do the Skyrocket Your Sales Challenge and you want to do it like, you want to make more money this way versus the grinding and pushing and hustling and copy and paste the script and yeah. Come join the challenge. You'll enjoy it. Thank you for the hearts. I'm so glad for all of you who were here. And then let's join again tomorrow and we'll talk more about that, like masculine versus feminine of the minds. It's really, really fun. And as always, DM me if you have any questions or if I can help and be of service. Mwah! Love you. Thank you so much for everyone who was here. Have a beautiful day. Bye.